Right, so a quick overview video of a black cat rat trap. I can't really call this video a review video because I've only just got the trap, so I can't tell you how good it is. But I can give you an overview of it and we can have a look at it. So, I got it today, and the first thing what surprised me was how big it is. I didn't realise that they was this big, and they look pretty powerful. So that's the trap there. That actually surprised me. I did not think it would be that big. Now it cost me, this one, £17. That was actually the cheapest I could get it. 17 quid. So to be honest, a fair bit more expensive than say a Mark IV fen trap. Now these are advertised as black cat rat traps, but they're also, they say, can kill grey squirrels and other similar size rodents. But in the UK this won't be under the spring trap approval order, so we wouldn't actually be able to use it for squirrels legally. But we could use it for rats and mice. It probably would, I don't know what it would do to a mouse, but they'd probably cut it in half. But we could use it for rats. I might also later on see if I can build a box for this or something. Maybe a run-through box or a single-ended box or something. So the other thing what I wanted to say was, I'd mentioned before that I wanted to think of some trap testing ideas. So I looked into how they actually test them and what they do. So they normally test force momentum or impact momentum and clamping force. But to buy the equipment to do that is literally thousands of pounds, unless there's some kind of bodge up way you can do it. So what I was thinking is, I wonder if we could just do comparison tests to other traps that we know will or are legally allowed to kill certain things. So if, say, we know a Mark IV fen trap, we can kind of do some sort of test with that and compare other traps with it, maybe. So for example, maybe, just I'm not going to do this, but say for example, using a copper pipe, see how far that it got squashed down or something, and then measure it and then try it with another one, maybe, I don't know. But I'll have to think of something. So if anyone can think of any ideas for doing that, then, you know, let me know. Right, so I've not even set this trap yet, but how it works basically is, you've got this hook at the front, and your bait would go underneath the hook. The bar is pulled up. When this is slightly lifted, it sets it off. I could kind of show you that by, so this would come up to here, and then when this is lifted, you see that goes back that way. So like I said, I've not actually tested it at all. I've not even set it at all yet, so I don't even know how it works. Well, not how it works, but you know, how it goes off, how easy it is to set. So this will be the first time doing it. When you get them, it does actually come with a load of instructions. Well, this one did anyway. Comes with instructions, back and front. But the first thing it says is you've got to put the bait underneath there first. And I think you'd want to put something what's got to be pulled, not what could just be kind of chewed up there. And then you've got to pull this up. Right, so that's now set. You can see it there. That was actually relatively easy to do. Felt pretty safe. It looks like it's a bit of a hair trigger. That part there is literally only just on it. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see. You see that's only just on there. Right, so like I said, I've not even tried this at all yet, so I don't know how hard this strikes or how easy it is to set off. One other thing I wanted to say is that there, on the back. That's a D setter. I don't know if you'd want to keep pressing that to slam it down. If you press that down, the trap will go off. I don't know how loud this is or whatever. I'll see if I can get it to go off. See how easy it is to go off. It felt like I had a fair bit of force to it. That's quite a lot of foam there, because I didn't want this to come slamming down and damage the trap. What I'll do, I'll set it again. I'll just get something else underneath there to set it off, to see how easy it is. But I'll put the bit of foam underneath it, so I don't want to damage this. Well, I didn't have my foam quite in there far enough. Right, it seems a pretty good trap looking at it. The mechanism is slightly weird. I think you would definitely need something what the animal has got to pull on, because that's the whole point of it. So this has got to be lifted. So I reckon a piece of bread won't be very good. Somewhat harder, somewhat what the animal can actually will have to grab hold of and try and lift it up. Like I said, it was 17 quid. So it's quite expensive for just a rat trap. What I'll also do later on is I'm gonna take these screws out, see what happens if this case comes off, so we can have a look at how the trigger works. So I reckon, from looking at it, you look inside here, that on this one there's just a little bit of a cutout, and it just seems to lip this one when it's pulled back. You see it there? And it just sits against a little bit sticking up. And obviously when this is lifted, it then lets it off. It's a really simple design, I think. Made in India. It's a big old trap. I reckon that would definitely work against, you know, any rats in England. I don't know if it would get a squirrel. It looks, you know, pretty large, like it might. Depends on how much force there is. The springs look pretty big, but they're not. They don't look quite as big as, say, a fen trap, as an example. But yeah, an overview of a black cat rat trap. One thing I would say is easy to set. That feels pretty safe. Whereas a fen trap or a Coney Bear body grip trap, they're pretty fiddly, and your fingers can get in, you know, in the way, if you know what I mean. Whereas that feels pretty decent for setting anyway. If I can find a place where any rats are, I'll see if I can set it out and maybe get some. If not, we'll have to just devise some tests and then test some other traps as a comparison. But that is one big massive trap. You know, I like it so far. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. Bait wise, I reckon you'd have to choose quite carefully. Somewhat what can be grabbed and lifted. But apparently people, you know, say these are pretty decent. And because it's a different kind of trigger, some say that it's better because the rat isn't so worried about, you know, standing on a treadle plate or eating stuff off of a little plate. It just seems like it's in a dish, if you know what I mean. But I don't think bread would work, because you know, they'd probably just chew the bread away, or it just rips before it lifts, if you know what I mean. But I'll just use that as an example. Right, anyway, once I think of some ideas, if anyone's got any ideas of how I could test as a comparison, preferably something what can, you know, what we can measure or look at. So like, just imagine a copper pipe, put it in the trap, once it's been squashed down, measure it, try on another trap, see it. But I don't want to use copper pipe, if you know what I mean. It's just an example. Something we can visually look at, cheap to get hold of and easy to get hold of. Right, anyway, cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.